Okay, so we're going to place text in InDesign. I've got my text here. It's just lorem ipsum. You can see it's got a little boldface and italic just to give it some features. One quirk is that InDesign doesn't always really like to deal with doc format text. So if you're having issues, if it just doesn't seem like it's working, you can do a save as RTF. It's rich text format. It preserves word level formatting like italic and boldface. So we'll put that on our desktop as an RTF. We'll call it test 1. And we'll also try saving this as a PDF just to see what happens there. Should work basically the same way. We'll call that test 2 PDF. Okay, so now we'll close out our Word here, and we'll open InDesign, make a new document, and that's fine. So you can place text as you would place anything else. We'll go to File and Place here. Rather than using our Word doc, which might give us trouble, we'll use this RTF. It's got import options or replace selected item. We'll check those, but we're not really going to change anything. Yeah, you know, we want these things, so I'm not going to shift anything. You'll see when I hit OK, the cursor changes to the loaded text cursor. You can see a thumbnail of the text itself. If I click anywhere in my page, I haven't built a separate text box yet, so if I click here, it's just going to give me one automatically, and I'll stretch it up to the top. You can see the word level formatting. You may not be able to on the video. Let me scroll in. You can see that the word level, bold facing, and italics are preserved. So you see at the bottom here where there's this red plus, that means that there's more text in this text frame. So we need to flow that onto another page. So I'll just create a new page here. And this is a verso. That means left page. So what I do is I go to this first page. When I click this red thing, it's going to charge the cursor again. That just means the rest of the text is now in the cursor. If I click here, that's automatically going to flow. And I think it's only like 2 pages worth. Yeah, so you can see that's the whole thing. There's no red cursor. You can actually still click this and click on another text box, and it just means that those text boxes are linked. That's what it's called. We're linking text boxes. If that were the case, and I'll show you here, just build one here, click here, right there. Even though there's no text in there right now, if it changed, you know, if I started adding a bunch more here, see how it automatically flows because those text boxes are linked. So that's that. And, you know, it does that because it doesn't know exactly where you're going to flow text, right? I mean, you can set it up to actually automatically flow pages. You want to do that if you've got a really long document. You know, if you go over, you know, 10 pages or something, you probably want it to auto flow. But, you know, if you had graphic elements in here and you had to kind of shift around, then you'd have to flow them into separate boxes. And we'll look at that in just a second here. But that's the gist of how this works. Let me actually just close out this one. Whoops, I don't want to save you. Whoops, I don't want to do a book. Okay, so we'll do a new document here. This time we'll flow a PDF. It should work basically exactly the same. It does ask particular questions about, do you want the whole thing or do you want just one page? We have the whole thing here. So it is a little bit different for PDFs. That's right, because it's going to preserve the structure. Oops. It's flowing right there. Yeah, so if you do it as a PDF, it is going to go one at a time. You'll notice, let me just do that again, how it had the pages separated out. Place, PDF, all is only, doesn't that have 3 pages? That was 2. Anyway, so place, see how it's charged with the other 3. So it does do those separately. You can link them up, but it's a little bit trickier. If you're just flowing text, it's a good idea to use an actual text format like RTF. PDF is a full document format, so it gets a little bit trickier. And then just to show one last thing about flowing text differently. So if we used the RTF, Right, so here we're on the full page, but what if on the second page, I'll delete the third. I'll keep it there for the time being. What if there were a graphic element here, right? So we couldn't violate that. So we have a separate text box, and we just put it here, and it's right up against it. Let's give it a little bit of a margin. And now if I flow, from, oh, I built that on the master. Oh, that's fine. Just go delete that. You bet. I want those out of there. So again, sorry, I built it on the master instead of on the page. Got our graphic element here. That means we need a text box over here. We'll build in a little bit of a cushion. So now if I flow, get the plus sign, can flow it to here. It obviously has more text than that. So one thing I could do is go up here, and then I could just build another text box right underneath. But watch what happens when I do that. Okay, so now I'll click here and flow here. See how there's this weird thing where, since they're both aligned to the top on the text frame option, that means they're hitting, you know, flush. So this line is weird. What you can actually do is bridge these or make these two objects one. I'm just clicking on them one at a time, although you hold down Shift. That way it selects them both. Where is my objects? It's Pathfinder, I believe. Yeah, this one. It's combined shapes. If I do that, see how it brings them together, and that way it's one text box, so it automatically flows them normally. And I need a third page, it looks like, because there's still a plus down there. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's how text placing works in InDesign. That's it.